Hello, everyone. Good to see you there. How's it going? So, guys, thank you for being here as always. And here we are yet again on another live discussion on the Disclosure Team YouTube channel. I'm not going to waste any more time. You guys know this man. And if you don't, you should get to know. Let's jump into it. Please welcome Danny Silva from the Silva Record. Hey, Danny.
What's good? How are you?
I'm good, brother, man. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is your background of the Pentagon.
Yeah.
When you fly into Washington D.C., the flight path goes kind of like near the Pentagon like that. So if you're on the correct side of the plane, I think I was on the left side of the plane, and I looked out and I saw the Pentagon like that. It was nuts. It was just
I bet. I bet it is, man. That's awesome. Yeah. So I thought I'd choose this background because we're probably going to be talking about so much stuff related to the Pentagon and the UAPTF and things like that. But firstly, I just thought, would you be okay just giving us a little background in how you got into the UAP field and stuff like that?
I was just an obsessed regular guy, and I grew up listening to Coast to Coast and things like that. And I was always bugging my family and my friends, and I felt like there was so much evidence for UFOs, and I still feel like that. And I'm not an experiencer.
Right.
I've never seen a UFO, and I felt like the evidence was overwhelming. And then 2017 happened, and I learned about some guy named Lou Elizondo and some program named ATIP, and I just jumped on social media, jumped on Twitter. And there wasn't a whole lot of people talking about it at the time. George Knapp was the main reporter. Grant Cameron was another guy covering To the Stars Academy. And that was like almost it, man. It was like Grant Cameron, George Knapp, and not a whole lot of other people. And me and some other people, like Andreas from UFO Twitter, we just started tweeting a lot. And there was other people involved too. And Andreas and other friends started a website, a guy named Keith, Jason, Christian, other people from UFO Twitter started a website, and they forced me to start blogging with them. I was tweeting so much, and I never had any idea about blogging or anything like that, and I was not even interested in it, and they forced me to do it. And because of them and their friendship, I started blogging with them on a website, and then that website dissolved. But we had success in that website, breaking stories to at least the UFO community. You know, it's not hard to get the ear of the UFO community because it's small, and especially it was at that time. So, you know, you can jump in, and I see people jumping in now just out of nowhere, and they are getting their message across to the UFO community because it's so tiny. And, but we were doing that, and we broke some cool stories, and then it was just kind of like an addiction from there. And but I just wanted to know everything there was to know about the ATIP story and the UFO thing. It was like the gold rush of information at the time.
Absolutely.
And then I started my blog, and I just kept doing it.
That's crazy. And I mean, so you've got no experience in writing or anything like that beforehand?
No experience.
Wow.
I came from being a hobbyist in the music industry.
Right. Okay.
So that did. Was able to translate some of those skills over to this as far as bugging people, because I was always bugging people to hear my music, and I was bugging celebrities to try to get beat placements on their albums. And I was able to use those skills and networking and promoting marketing skills in the UFO community. But it's a lot easier in the UFO community to get a hold of, you know, like a famous government agent than it is to get a hold of a famous rapper. I mean, it's way harder.
So is hip hop your thing? Is that where you're in, you know, that background of music?
Yeah, I came from hip hop, and I like, you know, funk music and stuff like that. I listen to everything. I listen to pop and rock and everything. But I was making hip hop beats, and I was DJing from a real young age, and scratching shirts and all that kind of thing.
That's my well, not my background, but I've been a hip hop head since '86.
Wow.
I'm like 43 now. I remember when everyone at school was listening to the cheesy pop music, I was bugging my parents to buy me like DMC and the Beastie Boys and then Ice-T at the start of the 90s and stuff like that. So that's awesome, man.
Exactly.
That's a whole nother conversation, I can tell you. Just want to quickly put it out there because I've only just seen this, is the Danny Sheehan statement. Have you seen it?
From today? No.
Oh yeah, he's just put out this big long statement on Facebook, just shutting down Greer, the way Greer portrayed him in that new documentary.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
It's incredible, man. It's really good.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm
the
really
Sheehan
happy.
stuff is really weird because it's we've always felt like he was kind of playing both sides, and I
Yeah,
had a statement from Lou on my website, that is Lou basically saying that he doesn't co-sign Sheehan's opinions, and they're working together on their cases, but other than that, Sheehan is his own person.
yeah,
And Sheehan's kind of been pissing me off a little bit, but I'm glad that he maybe cleared some of that stuff up today because he talks about Lou. A lot of us feel like he talks about Lou too much because
yeah.
Lou's his client, and why is he always talking about Lou so much and saying things that Lou allegedly told him off the record? I just felt like it wasn't fair.
Yeah, I mean, with it being in the relationship they've had, being strictly lawyer and client, that seems definitely off.
Right.
So yeah. But well, listen, I recommend. I'd actually read it out, but it's that long. I just say to everyone, it's all over UFO Twitter right now. And that was another question. When you first started on Twitter, is it true that it was hashtag Twitter UFO?
That guy Keith, he did a graphic with everybody's face, and I think it said hashtag Twitter UFO.
That's cool.
I don't know if we were hashtagging it or anything, or even
okay.
that, but we were just tweeting about. Really, it was to the stars, TTSA Twitter, even more than UFO Twitter. We were because that was the big story, man, and
of course
those were the guys that were coming out.
Yeah. Let's jump into just the UAPTF report, or should I say the preliminary assessment. What is your take on it? Because obviously people were all over, were expecting this big disclosure. And I mean, what's your take on what it was like leading up to it for you, and then what you took from it, and then following that?
The lead up, we won. We won in a big way. It was amazing. The lead up, the promotional run up, it was everything we could have hoped for and more.
Yeah.
We had mass media, 60 Minutes, NBC, not just Tucker Carlson. We had everyone talking about it. I keep saying this in interviews, but 6 months ago, I was writing a blog every single time a politician made a comment about UFOs. Now I can't keep up with all the politician comments. It's pointless for me to try to write a blog every time now.
But that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's amazing. And that's how far we've come. And but we just had so much mass media attention. We had Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp dropping all these videos and information. It's just been a really great, fast-paced year. So we won regardless. We had our ideas kind of about the report because of Lou and Chris Mellon and other people telling us not to get our hopes up. So our hopes weren't up. Mine weren't.
No.
For the report.
Same here.
And when the report came out, there's two sides to look at it, and I understand both sides. One side is the government's been lying to us for decades. They're still lying. They're not telling us everything they know. And that sucks. And I understand why people are mad about that, and I'm mad about it too. And that's why we fight every single day for transparency with blood, sweat, and tears every day. So don't think that I'm not doing that, because I think the report is cool also. The report on the other side was amazing for the public. It was amazing for the government, politicians to read it and take it seriously. Now there's some politicians calling for hearings. They're talking about, even taking UFOs out of it. They're just the threat of the drones or UFOs, whatever you want to call them. They're flying around military establishments. So that gets the media and the government involved, whether we call them UFOs or drones or whatever. They need to figure out what it is, and that's all we can ask for. There was also wording in the report, to me, that was pretty blockbuster to hear in a report for the public. They're talking about the 5 observables. They're talking about, the other category. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. They're kind of calling out the Air Force in a way, or at least mentioning the Air Force. There's a lot of cool stuff in the report if you read between the lines. And I think it's a great jumping off point from a promotional aspect. It's not everything we wanted, and I understand why people are mad about it. I'm mad about it too. But also, it's chess, not checkers. And this was a great chess move to get the government involved. So there's two ways to look at it, and I think we need to probably look at glass half full, while we can still be mad that we're not hearing about everything, because of course we're not hearing about everything. And I also, I'm the mind that there's kind of like a war with UAPTF and some of the transparent groups versus the special access programs that we're just trying to crack and get into.
Yeah.
And I think that war is still ongoing. We don't know how much special access program information is in the classified annex that the politicians got to see. Hopefully there's some in there, but I doubt that there's everything in there. I mean, is there straight up crash retrievals that we know they have?
Right.
Is there bodies, which is, I don't know if they have bodies or not, but it's feasible that they do.
Absolutely.
Roswell was probably real. There's all these other crashes. So, and then there's all the special access program stuff. So I don't know. I would really like to see the classified side, but it's classified, which means it's not FOIA accessible unless it leaks or something, or unless they make it unclassified. So I don't know if we're ever going to end up seeing it or not. I'm hearing rumors about what could be in there.
I was going to say about that with the Richard Dolan thing that happened this week. Did you see that list of the DARPA programs?
I saw Dolan's list. I don't know what to make of it. I haven't talked to Richard about it myself.
Right.
People are asking me why I haven't written about it. At this point, I don't have anything to add to it.
Same here.
So I'm just kind of watching, and I don't know any more about that than anyone else does. So I'm just not really sure. And that kind of made the case that it was a lot of secret U.S. tech, right?
Absolutely.
So, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. It's interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm on the sidelines with that one.
Yeah, same here. I've had a few people question me about it. Why haven't you posted about it on Instagram? Blah, blah, blah. And I've said, look, we've seen what Dolan put out. He made the statement that he trusts his source. But until we get anything else, we can't be putting that information out there like it's factual or anything, because that's just, in my opinion, the wrong thing to do. I've had people talk to me behind the scenes that they've spoken to a couple of people who were in the classified briefings on June the 16th, done by the Navy and the FBI. And certain other things were supposedly talked about that do keep them ET or ultra terrestrial or whatever they are, the others, they keep them in the frame. So it's not just US tech.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So I can't be just throwing out this bit of information without any backup or anything. I think it's dangerous when you start doing that. So
I really hope that they were talking about, some of the other stuff, and that's the big rumor that's going around right now. That they mentioned, that they're mentioning to politicians. I mean, they were, and we know that these briefings are going on, like with the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Eric Davis says he was briefing them on off-world vehicles and crashes and whatnot, and it's really cool to think about politicians maybe we're getting into some of the woo, as we call it. And really, they have to be. They need to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Because then it won't be woo forever. Hopefully, it'll come out of that sort of framework and into just more of a reality. It's something that can be studied, hopefully as well, by scientists that are given access to look further into it. I think that just is what's needed, But just when you were talking back then a second ago about the media covering it and the government talking about the potential threat, the national security thing, even to this day, I still get people coming at me almost saying, why do you post these media articles where they talk about national security threats and that? And what I don't think they get is they think that everyone is saying ET is a hostile threat. Is that something that you see often, or how would you respond to that?
That's what people argue about every day, and we get a lot of that. People get very angry because they think that the others, or whatever you want to call them, are not a threat because they think people have beautiful experiences. There's two ways I respond. One way is we're trying to get the public and the politicians and the media involved. And from a military aspect, when there's things flying around military bases or installations or ships or whatever, that is literally a military threat. So there's no argument there. And in order for us to get some of the media attention and political attention, we don't even need to call them UFOs. We can just call them drones, and we need to get a handle on these things that are flying around. And some of them are drones. They're
Yeah,
not all UFOs.
exactly.
There is drones. So we need to get a handle on this. And that's a way to get the media and politicians involved in studying it. The other side of the coin is the experiencers that had good experiences, and they think everything is angels and they think everything is great. And then there's this other part of experiencers that have been quote unquote abducted and had their lives ruined.
Yeah.
So that's the whole other argument in the UFO community that people have. And people, it's like a really, really hot button issue. People get really angry about it and really upset. I don't personally understand how just because someone had a good experience or a bad experience, they can speak to the whole phenomena and say everything that's going on, or they can say there are no abductions, it's all my labs, or they can say, you know, whatever else. It makes no sense to me. People have been abducted, they've had their lives ruined over this.
Yeah.
Other people have had an experience and it's the most beautiful thing, and they've had their lives changed forever for the better. But we can't be speaking for everyone as a whole. For someone to say ETs are not a threat when there's people out there claiming that they're being abducted, it makes no sense to me. And whether it's a threat or not, we just need to look at what's going on and what's happening, and we can't generalize. And but at the same time, if abductions are real, yeah, that's a threat, man. People are getting taken, and the evidence points to that. You know, I don't know what else to say about that, or that whole thing is a conspiracy and it's wrong, and no one's getting taken. You know, some of the positive experience people say, you get what you put out, which to me, in a way, is like, you know, victim shaming or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's their fault that because they had bad energy, that they had a bad experience. Like, get out of here, man.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't asking for that to happen. Or like I said, it's all a conspiracy. It's all a psychological thing. Abductions aren't real. Blah blah blah. I'm not an expert on it, but you know, people like my friend Charlie Parrish, who's doing a documentary on it. He isn't convinced 100% because he thinks it could be psychological. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but you know, there's tons of evidence of this stuff, and there's similar stories across the board. It's not just like one or two. So we can't generalize, and we need to be looking at the evidence. And I think people that are really, really ingrained in this threat versus not a threat thing, there's more evidence that it is a threat than that it isn't. And I want everything to be peace and love and awesomeness.
Yeah.
And I want everyone to, you know, just smoke weed and be happy. But it's just not how it is, man. There's weird stuff. And people also, on the other hand, we know people get injured and die.
Yeah.
Whether that's on purpose or not, it may be an effect of the craft, you know, the radiation or whatever you want to call it, and that may not be intentional.
Of course.
But it happens, and that's something I feel like we could take to the bank, that people have been injured and people have died in these experiences. You know, how Putoff said, if you see a craft and it's on the ground, don't rush up because it's dangerous. And Lou has said things like, you know, if you're standing next to a plane while it's taking off, you're going to probably be injured, and the plane isn't trying to injure you, but it's what occurs. So we need to also have that type of mindset.
Absolutely. I'm just going to give a quick shout out to a good friend, Christian. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Much appreciated, man. So let's jump back, because obviously you were saying that you it was ATIP that you really sort of started looking into, and that was that. Did you then jump into looking into the Nimitz case and things like that initially?
Oh, of course, man. Nimitz case. I mean, that's the biggest case we have ever.
Yeah.
It's more important than Roswell. It's more important than everything.
I agree.
Because it happened more recently. We have more credible witnesses. People that debunk these cases, they're trying to debunk the gimbal, the go fast.
Yeah.
They're trying to debunk Jeremy and George's contributions this year. There's really no way to debunk the Tic Tac. I mean, I don't care. I've even spoken to very skeptical mainstream media guys. There's no way to debunk the Tic Tac. You can, unless you say it's secret tech. I mean, that's the only thing you can say, is that it's secret tech. But you can't say it wasn't bouncing around and doing crazy stuff, because we have eyewitnesses.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's really no debunking it. It's the best case. There's too many witnesses. And yeah, I mean, Nimitz was like, we thought it was going to be the smoking gun, and in a way, it was a
Yeah,
smoking gun. What we realized is we need multiple smoking guns over a period of time, and
sure.
that was kind of a weird thing to realize. And I think To the Stars Academy probably went through that also because
Yeah.
they thought the Nimitz was going to just like shut everything down. I'm assuming here. I don't know for a fact.
It makes sense by the way that they came out with certain things and their angle for the first few months of,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
mean, the Nimitz is so compelling and so amazing, and there's so much just meat on the bone.
yeah,
You would think it would have done more, and it did do a lot. It did. It was amazing. It did change the world. It just didn't change the world enough from a public perspective. A lot of people still don't care. They're going about their daily lives and they just don't care. But so we need to keep hitting people over the head with these smoking guns. And
yeah.
Nimitz raised the bar of what we know and what could happen. And we just need more of that caliber of event.
Yeah, I've seen some rumors coming over UFO Twitter again the last couple of days about a lieutenant commander who was on board the Nimitz at the time. And I think it was about a year ago, they said he was going to be retiring soon and he may come out as some kind of witness talking about it. Have you heard about that story at all?
Not too much. If he is still enlisted since 2004, man, he's been working a long time because a lot
Yeah,
of those people are already retired. But
yeah,
yeah, more witnesses would be good. I mean, we have a ton of witnesses already,
sure.
so I don't know what else we could really add to it. But yeah, it would be good. More is always better for that. Preferably, I want some of these witnesses for some of these other cases. We have the USS Kidd, USS Omaha,
Oh,
like that.
yes.
So I would really like some of those guys. Now we don't know if there was any right angle turns or anything like that too. So, the right angle turns and the blasting off at incredible speeds, the 5 up
Yeah,
turbo type stuff, that is even more compelling than just like a light in the sky
yeah,
or something
100%.
like that. But yeah, I'm kind of the mind now where I want new cases, and we got a huge new case with the USS Kid, but I would like more. I would like some witnesses for that one. But
Yeah,
that one just happened, so a lot of those people are probably still enlisted.
yeah, exactly.
The weird thing is we got to hear from some of the gimbal witnesses while they were still enlisted, and I don't know how that happened, but they got the okay to speak, so that would be
Strange.
cool. But yeah, yeah, but yeah, I just want more Tic Tac like events, and I want the people to come out and but Tic Tac, man, it was just so good.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the Kid case, and what was the 9+ ships in that area across those few weeks off the coast, off the west coast. So, Rafael Peralta, the Kid, the Omaha. There's got to be so many sailors that must have seen something. So, if there were some erratic maneuvers, got to be one or two that would have seen them. Just purely by the amount of sailors out there. So, fingers crossed, one day we'll get them. But there's a couple of other cases which I know you've heard of before because I've seen it on your blog, which is the USS Boxer and the USS Bainbridge. Now, I've been trying to dig and question people about these for a while now, but I've yet to get anything. And have you heard even anything about what the case was or what happened?
I wrote about that a while ago. I heard a little bit about the Boxer, and I heard like nothing about the Bainbridge, but I did hear about the Boxer. I was supposed to be having some information about it, and it never made its way to me.
Right.
But it was pretty sensitive. I would like witnesses to come forward and information to come forward for the Boxer. I think probably people are trying to make that happen.
Right.
And it happened a while ago, so everyone should
Yeah,
be
98,
retired.
wasn't it?
Yeah, so everyone should be retired by now. But I don't know a whole lot about it, and there isn't much I can really share on
That's
it.
cool.
Because I don't know that much about it. But it happened according to like Blue basically, and other people.
Yeah.
So
That's the thing. I heard about it through Rich Hoffman giving a lecture in
exactly.
2019, and then I questioned Lou about it then,
Mhm.
and then he said he was aware of it but couldn't tell me anything.
Yeah.
Then I spoke to Rich Hoffman a couple of days ago, and I brought it up with him, and he said, "Look, I can't say anything," but Lou brought it to us.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
just
credible.
yeah, definitely.
And if any of what we're hearing is true, I mean, it's like there's a UFO event like every month or every
Yeah,
couple of weeks, and we're just not hearing about them. We're probably hearing about 5% of what goes on, 1% of what goes on. I'm just hoping that a lot of these military folks are getting fed up and they want to share, and they don't want to keep quiet any longer because they don't think it's going to hurt the United States. And then they think the public wants to know about it. So there's
Yeah.
just so many cases, so many cases. What was really cool about the USS Kidd, it came from Dave Beatty. It didn't come from the government. And Dave Beatty blew the lid off of that thing himself
Absolutely.
as a
Yeah.
citizen. So whereas the Tic Tac gimbal go fast, they came from the government in a way because they were became unclassified or whatever, and Lou made that happen. And then now, of course, the Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp stuff, they were government events, but I guess they made that happen also. So
Yeah.
the government needs to be aware of this, and there's going to be continuous leaks happening, I'm hoping. And they need to realize that they need to get ahead of this and start sharing some more of this information. And if they don't, we're going to be digging it up ourselves, and us as the public.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so they have a problem on their hands, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good that the Navy implemented the reporting system a couple of years ago for people to give the sightings across, and I think that helped the UAPTF quite a lot with a lot of the stuff that they studied in these 144 cases. It sounds like it went back to the Nimitz case, but then everything else was pretty much the last 2 or 3 years by what I've kind of gathered from it. So yeah, but we do need it. I mean, we do
I'm pretty
need more.
disappointed that the task force report didn't have specific cases like case studies. So that's one thing I was hoping that they were going to do. At least go back over some of the cases that we knew about that were public.
Yeah.
But they didn't. It was probably in the classified side of things.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. Just speaking on the Jeremy and George videos and photos that have come out in the past few months, I mean, obviously we all see them getting a lot of stick, a lot of mud thrown at them, saying that it's not great stuff. I mean, I think it's incredible. I'd love to hear your view on it, and I mean, yeah, just an overview of what you think of these videos and stuff.
I'm amazed that we're getting to see what the government and what the task force is looking at, no matter what they are. People saying that they hurt ufology or whatever else they're saying is insane. It's absolutely crap. You're saying these people are saying they want less information? Is that what they're saying? Because the whole time we've been asking for more information. Ever since To the Stars released those videos a couple years ago now, 4 years ago, we've wanted more videos. To the Stars was teasing that they were going to be releasing more videos. They didn't. It was making everyone depressed. We were sitting here for years waiting for videos. There was times where we were not getting very much news. When they were shooting Unidentified, Lou wasn't talking. People are spoiled now. Lou's doing an interview every day.
Yeah.
And we're getting mass media attention every day now. And it wasn't like this for years in between. People were getting really discouraged. No videos were coming out. Nothing was coming out. And, that was when I was really having to blog hard and dig really, really hard. Now it's like I don't have to work as hard because Lou is talking so much. And he's breaking his own stories, really. But back then, I was having to dig and do all this kinds of crazy stuff because no one else was doing it and there was no information flow.
No, of course.
Yeah, now the information flow is there, at least more, thanks to Lou speaking so much. And I mean, Chris Mellon is blogging and all this other cool stuff. But
yeah, that's awesome. I couldn't believe it when I started seeing Mellon's stuff. Like, I was like, what's this? And realized what it was. I was like, wow, that is impressive, man.
Yeah, but it's insane to say that you don't want to see you don't want to see what the task force is interested in. Like, what are these people talking about? And if I had gotten those leaks, which I would have been insane, crazy for me, I would have put them out too. And Jeremy and George are like the researchers, whatever you want to call them, reporters of the year. They killed everyone. All their haters are, they need to shut up now. And a lot of them have had to shut up.
Yeah.
What they've put out. And you don't have to believe it's a UFO. You can say maybe it's a drone, whatever. That's great. But you need to be thankful that it came out and that you get a chance to critique it.
Yeah.
And, the military and the Navy is recording these things, and we got to see it. So it's great progress. It's been shown all over the world. It probably got more people interested in the subject because they saw those videos.
Yeah.
And again, I'm going to be very clear. You don't have to believe they're UFOs. That's fine if you don't. But the people looking in that are wanting to critique it, maybe they are just drones. I don't necessarily think so because of the UAPTF interest, but we can't rule it out. And
Of
but
course.
we need to just be happy that we're getting information flow, we're getting videos and things like that, and it's a big deal. It's not just like some little thing. And I can't wait to see what else Jeremy and George release.
No, I'm exactly on. I couldn't have agreed anymore. I think they're awesome, and everyone focuses on, especially Jeremy's personality and things like that. And it's like, you need to get over it, because he's, like you say, he's given us this new information. I mean, when TTSA launched and we got those 3 videos, I remember that when it hit, it's quiet period, and it was just like nothing. And I felt like, well, I felt like TTSA were almost promising that it was just going to keep getting better and better, and it didn't. So now, thankfully, we've got it in the form of George and Jeremy. And I mean,
The thing
and
is
you've,
also, let me just jump in real quick.
yeah, sure.
The Jeremy's personality, I don't understand the pushback. I mean, he's kind of like a younger guy, and he dresses
Yeah.
and he doesn't wear suits, and maybe that rubs people the wrong way a little bit. But at the same time, the dude is a genius. Like, listen to him speak. He's an amazing public speaker.
Yeah.
He's able to get his words lined up like perfectly. I was on Coast to Coast with him, and I couldn't hang with like his public speaking abilities. I can't do it. It's really hard to speak to the public like that succinctly and get your point across and really sound good.
Yeah.
Lou Elizondo is able to do it amazingly.
Yeah.
Chris Mellon's able to do it amazingly. George Knapp is able to do it amazingly. And guess what? So is Jeremy, and he's great on national television. There's not a lot of people that can go on national television or these other places and speak as well as he speaks. And I literally consider him a genius because of his public speaking and what he's been able to do as an investigative reporter or filmmaker, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
But, and Sean Cahill now, I think, is one of those guys we could throw in there that's able to just speak very well on these national programs.
Guy's amazing.
Yeah, and think about how nervous you would be. I mean, I get nervous on Coast to Coast, but I mean, if you're on national TV, it's just not easy to speak like that. These guys are really great speakers.
Yeah.
They're people that the UFO community needs. They're faces that we need for the UFO community. So people need to really think about that when they're trying to dump on Jeremy and jump on him. So he does a really great job, and he's a great asset for the UFO community.
Completely agree, man. And I literally get it daily, whether it be my DMs or just comments on posts and stuff. And it's like, everyone just accuses me, oh, you just love Jeremy so much and that. It's like, yeah, he's awesome for what he's done. So if you don't like it, see ya, kind of thing. Like,
yeah, do better, man. These people should do better. Rather than complaining, they need to do it themselves. And Jeremy isn't a government agent or something, and he's been able to dig this stuff up, get sources, vet the information. It's not easy. It's incredibly hard.
Yeah, definitely. But then you do get the people that say, well, Jeremy's only in it for the financial side, or he is even paid by the government to swerve people off on a certain narrative. And it winds me up.
It's insane. And I don't know what money he's making off these videos. I mean, maybe he'll do a documentary about them in the future or something. But right now, he's just reporting and releasing them. So there's no money involved right now.
I keep saying that to people as well, and everyone just says there's got to be, and it's like, there's never been any money in ufology for anybody.
By the way, making money, if you're doing it credibly, isn't a bad thing.
Of course.
If you're taking advantage of people, sure, but he's not doing that, and he's not selling some weird product. He's not telling experiencers he's going to, read their implants and tell them what their implants say. Like I see at some of these conventions, this crazy wild stuff.
Right.
Or he's not saying that aliens are speaking to him and that that he's the messenger of aliens or some crazy stuff. And he's doing it all credibly. So if he wants to make money, more power to him. And anyone else, I think that as long as you're doing it credibly, and it's a fine line, but if you're doing it credibly, it is okay to make money. And there isn't a whole lot of money in this UFO community. I mean, even the people that do make money and are able to live off this stuff, it's not easy. It's not something that most people do. And, most of us have day jobs. 99% of everyone has a day job. And, I'll let Jeremy answer that question too.
Yeah, no, of course, man. Thank you for that. And just switching across now completely from people that we obviously hold in high esteem, like Jeremy, George, and that. I almost don't like talking about the man, but have you seen the Greer documentary that dropped last week?
I haven't seen the new one. I have mixed feelings about Greer. He's done a lot of good work over the years.
Yeah.
He's also done a lot of horrible things, and he's made some horrible comments. Yeah. I haven't seen the new new documentary yet. I need to watch it.
I think you do really.
I'm not boycotting it. I feel like I know a lot of the information that's going to be in it already.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure you do.
It's pretty clear. I think I saw like 30 seconds or a minute. I thought the editing was good. Like
yeah, but that's the problem.
Yeah,
it's editing just to fit a narrative so badly.
You know, and I watched Unacknowledged, and that was before 2017. I thought it was great at the time.
Yeah.
Looking back, I can kind of see some problems with it.
Of course.
But at the time, it like got me amped up. Like I was like, screw the government. We need transparency. You know, Greer's right. Greer's awesome. And Unacknowledged, I thought was good. It did the trick. It had some misinformation in there, but it also had good information.
Absolutely.
And I thought it was good at the time. I thought it was a really good movie. And also another thing he's doing right is a lot of his stuff will be free, like on Netflix. So you're watching something else, and it'll suddenly offer up, you know, Unacknowledged or one of the Greer documentaries. People won't know what it is. They're just clicking on it because it comes up on Netflix or whatever streaming service. So that's important, you know, in order to get the word out. So he's doing some good things for marketing wise, whether his information is good or not. But with that said, you know, he's shitting on Lou. He's shitting on the people that are doing the most. He's also saying he can speak for all abductions, and he can speak for the aliens who are talking to him directly. And whether they are or not, I just feel like that's somewhat irresponsible, because I feel like he generalizes a lot of things. And how can he be so sure about some of this stuff? And it's like he's able to be all-knowing of everything that happens in the world. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with, you know, we can be wary of Lou, wary of Chris Mellon, wary of George Knapp or Jeremy. It's fine. But in the end of the day, what we're doing is kind of like a sport, and you can look and see how many people put the most points up on the board.
Yeah.
They're putting points on the board, whether Greer likes it, whether I like it, whether any hater likes it. They're doing the most. And you can take out, you know, their personal opinions, but what they're releasing and what they're doing as far as public acknowledgement and government acknowledgement is working. Yeah. So it's a sport in that way, and that makes it objective rather than subjective. And objectively looking at it, they're doing the most. So Greer really can't shit on them. Sorry, I don't know if I should be cursing, but
you can on here, bro. No worries at all. Go for it.
Really, Greer can't be doing that if he's looking at it objectively. It's not something that you can take away from. And same with To the Stars Academy. You know, they didn't do some of the things they said they would do, but as far as disclosure, they did do what they said they would do. So objectively, on disclosure front, they did what they did. Not necessarily on bringing out technology, but same with Lou now, and same with Jeremy and George and everyone else. You know, it's subjective, and you know, even if I don't like someone and they come out with a good article that I think pushes the subject forward, I'm going to retweet them, and I'm going to even promote their article.
Sure.
As long as I think it's honest and true, and it has good information in it. So we need to take personal feelings out of this sometimes. Other times it's okay to have personal feelings and you know, debate with people. But at the end of the day, it is a sport, and the people that are doing the most are winning in that regard, and we need to respect them and promote them.
No, I love that analogy. That's great. I may even borrow that from you in the future when I'm talking to people, because it just lays it all out in simplistic terms. And I think sometimes people just need those simple terms to make sense of everything, you know, because I forget even sometimes that people don't dig and research like some of us do. And it's easier for them to just come to conclusions based off the very little things they see, whether it just be a documentary and stuff like that. So I do understand how they can be, you know, perceiving something like what Greer says as, my God, this guy is saying awesome stuff. But
and, you know, when I jumped into, it's like I was interested. Let me say that I was interested in a lot of what people were saying. I was listening to Corey Good interviews, and I was like, "Oh, these are cool." But
we've all been there.
That was before I knew better.
Yeah,
and it's unfortunate in a way, because people may get on YouTube and they'll come across a Corey Good thing first, or they'll come across a Greer thing first. But at least they're getting interested in the subject on one hand. The other hand, they're getting fed a lot of crap. But I don't know. I'm not knocking someone that just jumped in the subject, got on YouTube, started from scratch. Doesn't have people around them that can tell them that what's more credible and what's not, and they're not able to discern. So we need to keep that in mind too. There's going to be a lot of people jumping in fresh.
Oh yes.
And that's the goal. That's excuse me. That's our goal, is to get more people involved, and just the more credible stuff gets put out will be better, because then they're going to be Googling it, and then the credible stuff will come up. And that's what I think is so great about what Lou has been able to accomplish.
Yeah, totally, man. And actually, just what you said then was one of the questions I was going to even bring up, was for all the new people that we're already starting to see coming into this subject, what would your words of wisdom or advice be on where do they start? Where do they go? Because like you said, they just don't know. They see it all. So
yeah, I mean, I would stick with George Knapp reporting. You can go back, a lot of the stuff he's reported, everything basically. He's the man. He's the best.
yeah,
You know, you can go to and just go to ATIP. You know, the ATIP story. Jump in with what Lou's saying. Lou has a lot of content out now. If you look at all of his interviews,
yeah,
you could be Googling Chris Mellon. You could go on some of the blogs like mine or other people's. There's a lot of good stuff. Mystery Wire, George Knapp's website, has a lot of great stuff on it.
yeah.
As long as you're sticking to the more credible stuff that we can prove. But hey, go ahead and get into the woo and get into the weird stuff too, just so you get an idea of it. But it depends, I guess, what level of person and what their interest level would be.
Yeah.
If it's someone that doesn't really care, I'd be strictly showing them the political stuff, the UAP task force. That's a big thing too. You know, there's a task force currently going on, and it's not a conspiracy. It's transparent in a way. And we can show them that. We even know who the director's name is and what his face looks like. I hope he speaks. But
I hope so too, man.
yeah, I would stick to that. I mean, there's a task force currently going on in the government. There's the Tic Tac incident. So there's great things to show to people that don't care. And that's what people don't understand has changed so much since 2017. We have great tools now to show people, credible tools, credible examples. And since 2017, that's changed big time. Before 2017, things flying around in the sky above military installations was a conspiracy. Now it isn't. Now it's a fact. It doesn't mean it's a UFO, but there are advanced tech flying in the sky, and that is no longer a conspiracy, and even mainstream media knows that. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Danny, if you don't mind, is it okay if our friend Sean Rash jumps in, witness citizen? I think you've spoken to him before, haven't you? Is it all right if he jumps in? He's just got off an interview.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, man?
Sorry.
How you doing, bro?
How's it going, Danny?
Good. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. Yeah, real good. What were you guys talking about?
Just been shooting the shit, basically. Just a bit of everything. Talking about a lot about ATIP and Mellon, Lou, and all that kind of thing. That's probably a good time that you jumped in, because you interviewed Lou yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah.
And what I took from that primarily was that he said this is going to be an interesting week.
Yeah, I think what he was talking about might have happened already, to be honest with you, because I think he was relating that to somebody coming out and talking about Greer, which has happened with Sheehan. So I don't, that could be it. I don't know.
Well, I heard a couple of things. I heard that this might be the week. Me and Danny were just talking about it. That there was a possible retired lieutenant commander. I think he was
that too. Yeah,
from the Nimitz. That is everyone keeps pointing to this week or next. So that's, I suppose, on the table. But then also, Lou and Mellon were in Colorado Springs as well this week. Now that's, there's NORAD there. There's quite a few other things there. So maybe there's something in that direction. Again, speculation, but
yeah, he put out some breadcrumbs. That's for sure.
And I always jump on them.
An hour is never enough, I feel like, with some people, because there's always things I wish I would have asked that or this or whatever.
Yeah, but bro, you got
same thing happened with Danny.
You got him to talk about this 23-minute video that I've not heard anywhere before.
I haven't heard about that either. I feel like I just asked him about what kind of stuff we had. And it was more as like just like a friends thing, What do we got?
Did you see that, Danny?
His whole interview, I haven't. I've been seeing everyone and lit everybody on fire.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of excerpts from
from
the interview, and I want to congratulate you, Sean, because I know you've been wanting this to happen, and you had a blockbuster interview under your belt now, man. So congratulations, dude.
Dude, I really appreciate that, especially coming from you. who paved the way for people like Vinnie and I to even exist and do this kind
Absolutely.
of stuff.
Yes.
So it's really an honor and a privilege to talk to you.
Yeah, man. And, you asked Lou, you got some new information out of Lou. That's not easy. He's doing interviews every single day. If I had a nickel for every time Lou did an interview, but you got some new questions in there, and I got a great response from the UFO community, man.
Well, I'm just trying to help. So as long as I'm doing that, I will keep going. And that's my only prerogative. So
yeah, man, that's all we can do.
Is to help be grounded, show, and be positive and supportive towards what everybody's building. What you started building on UFO Twitter with Andreas and others. It's people always want, and Danny, you're going to know this more than me, but people always want things now. Give me that video now. Give me that evidence right now, without having any. And I understand to a certain extent, but it's without having any compassion for, how that process would happen and who's involved and what would happen to them. And it's been 80 years, so can you wait just just a little bit longer? And hopefully, I just hope that this continues to go this way. I believe we'll probably see leaks from that classified report at some point. I mean, come on. How many people are in Congress? Somebody wants attention.
Yeah, and we know there's so many videos. We know there's so many incidents, and the length of time of the 23 minutes is kind of surprising. But we know there's so many videos in the vault. I don't know if we're ever going to see them or not. But Lou and Chris have seen them, and no wonder they're so motivated. They've seen what we're drilling over.
That's a good point. They would have to have seen something like that to be this motivated. You would think.
Oh, totally. Yeah. He's seen a ton of stuff, and so has Chris, and so have other people that we don't even know the names of. But Chris and Lou did.
So I asked about the 50 feet away one. That's how it started. So I'm like, so what's up with that 50 foot away photo? And I'm like, so when are we going to see that? And he goes, that's not up to me. I'm like, all right, it's pretty crazy though, huh? He's like, yeah. We got some really crazy stuff though. There's this 123-minute video. And he starts smiling, and I'm like, oh, yeah. So popcorn, soda? He's like, you're going to need popcorn, a Coca-Cola, and then I said, and probably a diaper. And he laughed and said, yeah, maybe. So, shoot. Man, what a tease. But
and when they come out, the people will just critique it and say it's a drone anyways. But,
yeah, probably.
We'll be happy.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I wish people could just, no one's asking you to make a commitment when these videos come out to, believing one thing or the other. I mean, why can't people just stay open-minded and realize that even if some videos or the gimbal or Tic Tac or whatever, or Jeremy's are drones, let's say they are, well, that's still a big freaking dangerous thing.
Yes,
that we should be concerned about.
Danny was saying almost the same, that it's
right.
Pretty much sure that some of what we've seen are probably drones, but it all fits into the fact that Danny was saying the UAP task force, we're getting an insight into what they're looking into, and it almost feels like we, the public, are starting to hear something from the government.
Yeah.
And a lot of these too, they're getting they have a lot more intention behind the scenes. I mean, the video comes out and UFO Twitter was like, that's a plane. Like, you don't think they checked the flight logs and what's going on in the area first before they put it out? Like, you think UFO Twitter, and UFO community, they just came up with that for the first time and no one else thought of that already? Yeah. And it's ridiculous. I mean, people, they're doing this for a reason. And there's a lot more, and that's frustrating because we don't get to see all the data. But there's a lot more data behind the scenes, and they are checking these things, and they're ruling a lot of stuff out. And, it's just, I think some of them are UFOs too. A lot of them probably are UFOs, even if the videos aren't amazing or if they're not doing amazing right angle turns. And people are getting frustrated because it's a grainy video or it's a FLIR video or it's just a light in the sky. But we got to remember that the Navy is taking this stuff. They're taking it seriously. And sometimes I think people want an alien driving a convertible on Sunset Boulevard or something. And anything less than that, they're not going to be happy. So
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know, man. This is the real stuff, and people still aren't happy with it, but they just want 100% clarity.
It's
and
funny.
the videos, and it's I don't think it's a reasonable expectation.
No.
It's funny how bad, like you said, an alien in a convertible, but they don't even know what the alien would be like. So are you sure that you want to be asking for that? Like, what if it's a cold cut killer or something? You know, like, whoop, I wish I didn't see that. It hops out of the thing and comes after you. But, you know, we just don't. It's.
And they'll say
I think we'd get more information if we were more patient, not so judgmental, too.
Hell
I think
yeah.
we'd be more apt to get stuff.
I agree.
And hopefully, these negative views on in the UFO community, I don't know how much they get out of the UFO community, and when I talk to journalists and stuff, and they're excited about these things, and I think we're kind of insulated in the community, arguing amongst ourselves and things like that, and hopefully a lot of that just doesn't matter at the end of the day, and as long as we're getting mainstream media involved.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it is a problem seeing every day there's a little bit of infighting throughout the community on UFO Twitter and also on Instagram, and I guess across all social media platforms. And it's slightly disheartening. I guess it comes with the nature of what the discussion is. Everyone has different opinions.
It just comes with social media, man. Like
in general, yeah.
Quilting Twitter is going to be arguing. Any version of Twitter you go on, I'm on the stocks trading. They all hate each other. But it could be like miniature golf Twitter, and they're going to be arguing and hating and giving each other death threats and stuff.
Hey, that's a part two, buddy.
It's just social media, man. It brings out the worst in people. I've been doing some of the Twitter spaces where we speak.
Dude, they are incredible, man. They are
you guys
so good.
You guys both talk to people directly, and it's interesting how human nature gets involved when people are speaking, when you can hear each other's voices, or when you can see each other's faces. People become cooler and nicer. And there's just something about typing over a keyboard that just makes people like hate each other. But I think the more human interaction we get, the better. And I think even some of these conferences, and I'm not a fan of some of the conferences because there's a lot of bad information, but I think people, when they're able to meet each other, it goes a long way as far as just being cordial and being nice.
Yeah, I think
and I'm the worst at it too. I fight as much as anyone. I've learned a lot. I've tried to stop doing it, but I've argued with people over the years. I've been blocked by people for sticking up for Lou. People that were sitting on Lou for years and years, and they blocked me, and now they like Lou and they're friends with him, but they still have me blocked. I'm like, all right, man.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, there's tons of people like this. It's crazy.
The Sunday special, probably.
I'm just going to give a quick shout out to the observation deck. Thank you for the kind words. And guys, we are going to be doing some work together in a couple of weeks' time. The information will come out soon.
What are you guys doing?
Thank you, observation deck. Thank you for being here.
All right, will they be observing you or vice versa?
Oh, there'll be like different angles of observation.
Very interesting. Will it be on a deck?
Yeah, it's in their virtual conference. Well, so there'll be.
That's when I first met Danny. I walked up to him in my virtual suit, cowboy hat, and bolo tie, and said, "Hey, you want to do an interview with me?"
Oh, no way! That's awesome.
He's like, "Yeah, cool, man. I'll do an interview." Yeah, it was funny. A weird world. It's totally cool that they're doing that, and giving that space for this kind of stuff.
Oh, it's awesome, man. I missed out on the thing that Lou and Dolan did. I couldn't make it, but then I connected with the observation deck, and I've been in there, and they gave me the tour, and now we're going to be doing some work together. I'm so hyped for that kind of platform, for the future of what they can do for this subject, bringing people together. I think it's incredible, man.
It is fun. It's like a fun, cool video game.
Yeah, exactly.
The full disclosure, one of the funniest parts to me about being there was there was a person there named Mike West.
I keep seeing that name crop up as well.
I walked right up to him. I walked right up to him and I was like, "Hey, are you Mick? Mick, hey, hello." He wasn't saying anything.
Hey, maybe that was his ploy. Just change the name and be subtle and not say anything, and he can get away with it.
Yeah, whatever. It was.
Then he probably wouldn't have even used that name at all.
Danny, didn't you do like a Young Guns thing there or something?
Yeah, we had the Young Guns panel interview on
Yeah.
during the Richard Dolan Lou
Cool.
conference, virtual conference. Richard Dolan was nice enough to invite us. It was cool because we want to be invited to more of these things.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't always get invited. It seems like it's the same people that
Sure.
have been doing the conferences for like 15 years, and it's cool to be invited. It was an honor, and hopefully we'll do more. And people might be in trouble if some of the young guns or newer people start doing conferences more.
I was thinking we should put our own together.
Some of the less credible stuff might be, might get pushed out a little bit, and maybe that's what they're afraid of. But it is hard for everyone to get on a plane. But maybe if we all did it on an observation deck or some virtual one,
that might
be it right there.
Yeah, bro. So listen, there's people in the chat asking about it. I will update the description of this video probably tomorrow. Sorry. And I'll stick the observation deck details in there as well. And guys, that's such a good idea. Nothing stopping us from meeting up on that awesome platform.
People are saying they wanted a Young Guns conference for like years and before
Dude,
for years.
So good.
The travel aspect is hard, but if it's virtual, it does make it a lot easier.
Yeah, especially for people like me and a lot of people I know here over in the UK. We can't just jump on a plane and spend $2,000 flying across.
No
I'll
way.
pay you that though.
Hey,
Just kidding.
Hey, you know, Mr. Big Shot. Come on.
If you saw what was on the other side of my office,
bro, you don't want to see behind this green screen. Trust me.
Oh, I know.
Oh man, yeah.
Hey, I'm trying to get Mr. George Knapp on my show. Can you,
I've
give him
I've
a nudge
tried.
for me?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
George hasn't been doing enough as many interviews, but yeah, he's a great interview.
Yeah,
I hope you get him, and he's the legend, man, right there.
Yeah,
he's a great speaker. I want him to do more interviews on mainstream media, but we get to see him on his own channel, so I think that's part of the reason why he isn't always doing the other channels, because he's signed to a deal with KLAS.
Yeah,
but he kills it on KLAS. I mean, how cool is it? And when no other media guy was covering these stories, George was for years and years, and we owe him a lot. The UFO community owes him so much.
And
well, I think it was the whole him facilitating Harry Reid to the conference with Bigelow that just everything happened.
He's intertwined with history, man. It's like you take one of these guys out, maybe things wouldn't have occurred. Maybe maybe where we're at right now, it wouldn't have happened if you took one of these pieces out.
It wouldn't
of the dominoes, and we never know. But it's history. We got walking history with a lot of these guys.
Yeah,
we're really lucky to have them.
Yeah, here we go. Look, guys, observation deck. We are organizing a conference for all those newer to the field. It's coming in September. That's what we want to hear, man. So
nice.
Observation deck. You got my details. Let's get involved.
Yeah, but we want to do our own thing the way we want to do it.
I'm sure they'll give us an hour or two. We'll do it on the beach in the observation deck.
All right. Yeah. Another thing about that is I went into they have this piano room.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, and but you can't play it. But nobody was in there, and you have to have like your microphone set up and stuff, know, to be in there so you can talk.
Yeah.
Well, I had my guitar, so I was just in the piano room singing and playing guitar, and nobody was in there. And I think I heard one person say, "Can you stop that so I can hear this person talk?"
Oh, that's crazy.
I was like, I wasn't sure if you could hear me or not. Okay, I'm done.
Hey, Danny, just like when we first started this conversation, you were talking about your like history and beats with hip hop and stuff. Do you still make beats?
I do, not as much. I'm so busy now. I'm doing day jobs and then the UFO stuff. But yeah, I still make beats, and I still got it. But I haven't been sending them out to people and killing myself over it, because I spent a lot of years just killing myself over music. Like people would be like, "Hey, let's hang out, let's go to the movies," and I'm like, "No."
Me too, man.
Done. And I had famous people asking me for beat tapes, and I had to turn in a beat tape every 2 weeks. And, I had like those that on my back, and I neglected my life for a lot of years. I'm not doing it anymore because it's crazy. I'll you sell one beat and let's say you get $1,000 or $2,000, and that's like the greatest thing ever. But like, that's not a lot of money, man.
No.
And like, you can trade some stocks for 6 months, and like, I've already made more money off of the stock market than I ever did making music, and I spent decades of my life on music. But it's just, you do it for the love.
Yeah, oh hell
music.
yeah.
But I feel like it hurts your life, and really, honestly, man, the UFO stuff does too, because it's like we put so much into this.
Yeah, I just switched.
we're like neglecting our well-being, but we believe
Yeah,
in
bro,
this.
tell me about it.
We believe in this cause and helping the world, and it is a lot of fun too. You can't take the fun out of it, but yeah, in a lot of ways, we're just like neglecting our well-being and our financial security, and we're just like putting all this energy into this, and it's like, I've been cursed with that my whole life. I mean, if I'm not doing music, then I'm doing art,
something
art,
else that doesn't make money.
Now I'm doing UFO stuff, and it's just like, do I care about retiring ever? Because I'm
me too. It's me to a T, man. I swear to God.
Me too, bro. Like, it's 8:30 p.m. here right now. I should be sat with my other half watching a movie. Our daughter's in bed, but I'm doing this for the passion.
I'm in my office. I should be making money, but I'm talking to you guys.
We're lucky because we're passionate about things.
Yeah.
Some people go through life and they're never passionate and they're bored. And we have all this cool excitement, so there's something to be said for it. But but we're also neglecting things. Let's be honest.
One last question. Did you ever have an outlet for your beats where the public can hear them? Because I'd be super interested in hearing them.
I got a couple placements. I had a placement with a guy named Damo Genesis, who was in Odd Future. And it was featuring Anderson .Paak, who's pretty famous now.
I know Anderson .Paak real well. Yeah.
And it's called Dapper. I did that beat along with some producers. So that was my biggest claim to fame. I worked on a Snoop Dogg song called LA Here's to You.
For some reason, I pegged you as a 90s rap, B.I.G. kind of guy.
Bro, you got to check it out on Twitter. I keep seeing Mobb Deep cropping up and stuff when Danny's talking, man. I'm hell yeah, man.
Sometimes I just want to like
tweet about hip-hop
and music and not.
Dude, let's do it.
Were you West
Coast start doing it, I'll start doing it. And I bet half of UFO Twitter will start doing it, because that was my life, man.
Yeah, man. But the LA Here's to You, I came up with the chorus sample. I didn't make the beat itself, but if you listen to it, there's a chorus sample from Johnny Taylor, and that was my idea. I had submitted it to Dr. Dre for Detox. I worked for years on Detox with Dr. Dre. I never actually talked to him. I talked to people on his label, and nothing came of it. And it was a lot of work. But I amassed this huge catalog of beats at the time, and I worked really hard.
Yeah, because that was years in the making, or years talking about it.
Hey, give me
everyone
one.
was waiting
I'll make a song with it.
Yeah, it was crazy. Time, and it's hard. Like, I was hearing that because Dr. Dre made Detox songs off of some of my ideas, and I was like, okay, today's the day he's gonna call me, and they're going to release it, and my life's gonna change. And it's just hard, when it doesn't happen, when you're working hard. But there's a lot of Dr. Dre songs from that era, or at least a handful that I had influence on, and I haven't heard a lot of the finished versions.
Right.
Some of them I have some leaks on the Detox stuff.
What?
That have never come out. I have a song with Mac Miller. I did a song with Mac Miller, and it's never came out. And of course, he passed away.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's going to come out or not. I mean, I could leak it if I wanted to, because I have his vocals. But if I do that, I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot if it ever comes out or not.
Yeah.
It's not going to come out if I leak it. So I don't know what to do.
Leak it with a UFO story and call it Double Leak.
Just redo the lyrics with you rapping it instead of Mac.
I have a lot of music industry horror stories, man. But it was an experience, that's for sure. And I have a funk song I did with a guy named Zachy Force Funk that's out there. It's called Party Fire.
Sweet.
I've had music stolen that later got released, and
I've been there too.
Happened.
I'm just going to give a quick shout out to Steve Kaler. I'm just going to set my CE5 app fee right here. Hey, thank you, Steve K, man.
Steve K, he's never given me any money.
That means a lot, man. Thank you so much. And guys, I'm sorry this has turned into a bit of a hip hop chat, but it's not every day you get to speak to Danny Silva and shoot the shit about something that I was passionate about for 30 odd years, So no, I'm not sorry.
I'm not sorry. Guys, I got to go. My in-laws are coming over. So
no worries, man. Thank you for jumping in, man. Appreciate it. We've got to do it. Shall we announce tomorrow, Sean?
Yeah.
So guys, You do it, Sean, because it's on your
Oh,
channel.
sure. We're just gonna have a show tomorrow on my channel, just to go over this week's interviews. I feel like I've just had so many, so fast,
Yes.
and it's over.
Same here, bro.
Yeah. So we're gonna kind of just go over, just thoughts or on how that went and talk about it. So yeah, join us. It's on my page, not his page.
Yeah,
My
Sean's
page.
channel, Witnesses, and we'll
Danny
put out the
can come.
details later and
Everybody's welcome.
tomorrow, and we'll promote it so you guys get to see it and come and hang out and stuff. That'll be awesome.
Yeah. So hopefully Max will show up and all that.
Mad
So,
Max.
Yeah. All right, guys. Danny, good to see you again.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
take
thanks
care,
for your
buddy.
nice words. See you, Vinnie. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, bro. Take care, man.
Peace.
Oh, man. Danny, thank you. Unless there's anything else you want to say, man, I won't keep you any longer, man. I appreciate your time very much, man. And it means the world. It really does.
Yeah, you're doing a good job on Instagram, man. A lot of us are forgetting it and focusing on Twitter, and Instagram has more of the youth, and that's important. People are on TikTok and other places. It's not just Twitter.
Hey, man, thank you so much.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think the UFO community, we've had a great year so far.
Yes.
We've had a great 4 years, and it's just there's a lot to be happy about. There's been a lot of movement. In a way, everyone is spoiled because it wasn't like this before 2017.
No.
There was even times after 2017 when it wasn't like this. So people should be pretty happy about what's going on, and things are changing. So I'll just leave it at that.
Hey, man, thank you so much. And I know your voice is, it's been one of the best for some time now. And like I said, I appreciate just being given the opportunity to speak to you. So thank you so much, man. And I hope that we can speak again in a few months' time and have even better things to talk about,
Sure, dude. Anytime. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. You take care, man, and have a good day.
You too. Thanks.
Cheers. See you later. Oh, guys, that was awesome, man. Thank you guys for the super chats. Thank you for everyone in the comments and the chat in general. Thank you to the observation deck for jumping in, because we have got some stuff in the works. It's going to be announced soon, hopefully. I will be adding the observation deck details to the description on this video, because it is incredible. It's something you need to sign up for. There are free trials and stuff, so don't all panic about worrying about spending money straight away. And then once you're in there, you can explore this virtual campus, and you can have access to all sorts of stuff. I cannot sing its praises enough. So you'll be just as impressed as I was. So yeah, thank you to, I see some regular faces. I see some people from Instagram and that, but I appreciate literally every single one of you, whether you're new, old, from YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. I literally appreciate every single one of you, because I love doing this, and just seeing all the positivity and the support keeps me going. So guys, thank you so much. I am going to be jumping on Instagram Live over on my page, Disclosure Team. If you don't know, it's Disclosure_team on Instagram in about 5 minutes. So come and join me there. Let's keep the discussion going. But for now on this channel, I just want to give a massive shout out again to Mr. Danny Silva. He is, in my eyes, he's one of the best that does it. And so it was a privilege to speak to him tonight. So thank you again, Danny. Thank you, Sean Rash, Witness Citizen, for jumping in. Another incredible YouTube channel that you need to go and subscribe to if you don't already. But guys, thank you again for being here. Come and jump on Instagram, man. Let's talk some more. So yeah, until next time.